People of Reddit, what was the most NSFW event you ever stumbled upon in high school? Some kid at a party got blackout wasted and shat himself. In the middle of the crowd he took his pants down and slipped in it, proceeded to army crawl to try and make it out but just smeared it everywhere. He is still known as the party pooper. I went to a boarding school my freshman year of high school, and a few weeks in, I volunteered to help walk our librarian's dog while her leg was healing after an injury. So I was walking this huge dog through the woods around campus when he suddenly sniffed the air and just stripped the leash out of my hands and took off into the underbrush. I started chasing after him when I heard screaming and yelling. I thought, oh god, this dog mauled someone and I'm going to get expelled. Broke through a clearing and there were 5 half-naked upperclassmen trying to put their clothes on and scatter, while this dog is joyously barking and jumping up on and licking them. TLDR accidentally interrupted an orgy in the woods with my librarian's dog. Edit, I guess since so many people are asking, yes, it was a code school and yes, both genders were represented. In band before a football game, I walk into the percussion room to hang with the homies. Everyone is huddled around this dude in the corner of the room laughing. So of course I walk over to check it out. Turns out the dude was showing everyone how tiny his dick is and everyone was so fascinated. Yeah, it was really small. Like from the tip of your pinky to the first knuckle down. I've never seen anything like it lol. No one thought it would be a bad idea for the cross-country team to have thin white uniforms until we had a race in a thunderstorm. So many flashbacks of penises swaying with each stride. Okay, 2 stories, 1 NSFW. But still messed up. Janitor in elementary school died while mopping the floor, and somehow this didn't get around the entire school and my entire class saw them taking his covered up body out the front door. Another is walking in on several people giving BJS in the band room. It became a daily thing and I should have known to also knock on the practice room doors before entering. In 8th grade we went on a class trip to Hershey Park. 2 girls gave a guy a blowjob on the bus ride home next to a sleeping chaperone. They eventually got caught and that's why there are now no code buses in the district. This was also in 2002. Walked into a bathroom after school and found a guy and a girl about to go to town. She had her shirt off and skirt up. He had his pants on. I caught them just before the moment of insertion. I said nothing. I would have left them to it, except all other bathrooms on campus, except this one were always locked shortly before last bell. So I silently walked to a urinal, calmly did my business, properly washed my hands. By the time I went to leave, the girl was hiding in a stall and the guy was waiting by the door. I shrugged at the guy shrugged back. I left and heard the door lock behind me. Not one of us said anything or made a sound during the entire exchange. Edit. For everyone calling it a power move, I appreciate it, but I just didn't wanna have to pee in the bushes. Freshman year of high school, football team is out practicing. A senior varsity player came into the freshman locker room, cut all the locks off our lockers, and stole our clothes. Nice enough to take wallets and phones etc out of pockets and leave them in the lockers though. Idiot didn't realize the hallway cameras had him the whole time. Most of us chose not to shower until we got home. And as the team proceeded to leave in groups in undershirts and boxers or no shirts and boxers, after getting a call our rides were there. Small town, small school, so ultimately he was just benched for a few games, suspended for a day or 2, and his parents had to buy a bunch of padlocks. We had many PCs in our school, and every computer room had a projector. So once when the teacher was ill and no replacement came, we were in that room. Someone started the projector and quickly found out that every porn site he tried is blacklisted, but playing from USB apparently works fine. We later found out not only are the connections whitelisted, but also fully monitored. Not long after the movie show with sound and everything started, the tech guy comes with a substitute teacher. That internet search history was apparently enough for them to suddenly have a substitute teacher for us. This was junior high, but one kid who we suspected was gay gave another kid who we did not suspect was gay a blowjob in the bathroom stall. And for what? A hollow foil Clefairy Pokemon card. Gotta catch 'em all. People snorting crushed up pills in the bathroom right off of the sink. This was in the early 2000s. I went to a small party at my friend's house. My girlfriend and I got there late. We went in and noticed nobody was in the living room. Weird, they said they'd be here Start walking to the back, and I could hear several voices in the bedroom. I just opened the door and there were 7 of my friends just having a casual orgy. One guy flashing his dick at the teacher, and also one dude was caught in the bathroom giving a blowjob. At least he got a sweet hollow foil cleffery card out of it. I'm a teacher who teaches in a high school. First day on the job, had 2 kids beating cheeks in the back of one of my shop cars. Should specify I'm an automotive teacher. Pretty NSFW if you ask me. Not me. But a few freshmen encountered sophomores having sex on a hill my school had for cross country and I think football. And then someone marked that hill on Google Maps. Not me specifically, but 2 kids in my Catholic high school fucked in the bathroom and someone caught them and videotaped it. They posted it online. Our school made the news and now they measure girls' skirts if they look too high, as well as banging phones. In middle school some kids walked in and started having sex in the stall next to me while I was pooping. Eventually they smelled my presence. Gotta assert your dominance. My school is the one where that girl, Peaches, went to. The girl who ate the tampon. Also 2 students got caught fucking under the stairs. Went to teacher's room to get some papers that my Portuguese teacher had forgotten and stumbled upon German biology teachers kissing each other really hard over the meeting table. I mean, they didn't even notice me. And oh, it was a Catholic shul, and they were both married BTW. My face when I returned to class without the papers must have been priceless. Oh man, I've got a good one for this. So I'm in H/S theater class and have been helping the teacher out with a lot of tasks like setting up the green room and stuff. Just little helpful stuff. Well, apparently one of us left the door unlocked and unattended for a little too long. In our green room were 2 big blue couches that were the most uncomfortable things I had ever sat on. Teacher comes running into the room from the hall and says suddenly, "Tequila, I think someone is in the green room. Go with me, so I can have a witness." Thinking nothing of it, I go. We stand by the door and someone is most definition in there, making some pretty unusual sounds. I realize what the sound is a half second before the teacher throws the door open to 2 kids from my class getting down on that couch. I only had like 2 seconds of view time before the teacher screams, "Good golly, Miss Molly," and slams the door. I sat outside that door crying from laughing for about 20 minutes before they knocked on the door to be let out, realizing we had the stage completely locked down. The look on their faces when the principal let them out and led them to his office will forever be in my mind. Can you imagine? Balls deep about to blow, and from over your shoulder, "Good golly, Miss Molly." I dream of it sometimes and still wake up laughing. Fresh jizz on a locker room bench. A kid pulled his pants down in Spanish class and pissed in the corner. A kid with a mental handicap who would vigorously masturbate in app political science at least once a week. Edit. One day in app Lycée, the kid with Asperger's sat alone in a row of empty chairs all closely placed together directly in front of the teacher. In the middle of class, he reclined across 4 adjacent seats and went to work in his pants. At my angle, I could see everything. The tent. His forearm pistoning up and down. The veins in his neck. He stuck out his tongue and curled his toes, taunting us like that for 5, maybe 10 seconds before the teacher shouted at him. This kid did weird shit, but he was in a number of my app classes and, I think, legitimately earned his way. He carried our team's ass in app Britlit junior year during in-class Jeopardy games. And way too many of y'all shared this pissing in Spanish class experience for us to be in the same class. What's going on out there? We had a kid that would strip down naked and dry hump girls. They let it happen until he bit someone hard enough to get stitches. So they built a big fence around the special education unit so that he couldn't get out. Problem was the special education unit was along the main road, so cars would drive by and see the naked special ed kid in what was practically a giant dog run. To stop everyone seeing him naked, they covered the fence with black shadow cloth so you couldn't see him. Edit. I asked a friend about this, and I have my order of events wrong. This kid went around dry humping girls fully dressed and bit a girl who required stitches. The fence was then built, and as a protest the kid started stripping off and throwing his clothes over the fence. To stop this from being viewed by the public, they covered it with black shadow cloth. Not quite so bad, but it still includes caging special needs kids. Girl gave a blowjob to a guy and his friends filmed it. It was the talk of the school and she changed schools. 2 years later she came back and sucked a different guy's dick by the same dumpster. No one filmed it this time. Legend has it that a guy in my sophomore or junior year used to sit next to his GF and get hand jobs during English class. What happens in the locker room should stay in the locker room. With that said, I once walked in on a kid shoving a crucifix up his ass on a dare from his friends. Holy shit. I ran cross country in high school. Sometimes during practice we would run through trails in the woods surrounding the high school. One day right after school ended we started running down the trails and stumbled upon two students having sex. Judging by their reactions I don't think they were expecting a group of 15 guys to run by while they were getting it on. A guy and a girl got caught doing anal in the hallways in a neighboring school. This was in the 90s. 2 people were caught having sex behind the curtain on the gym stage by the master of custodial arts, or janitor, if you want to be a dick about it. He said hi to both and walked out. Dave was cool. A junior boy filmed 2 sophomore girls having sex, and, of course, he made copies and passed them around. One copy landed in the dean's hands and she called both girls and their parents in and fucking watched it. There were definitely girls snorting coke in the bathrooms, teachers choking out and punching kids. Yeah, no, the usual. When I was in middle school, someone jerked off and finished on his desk in the middle of class. The story is legend in our area and it's been retold so many times that it's hard to figure out what actually happened after he finished. So I'll give you each ending I've heard from different people. He finished and it shot across his desk onto the girl's hair in front of him. The teacher heard something happening, went over and saw it on the desk, and put her finger in it. He just cummed over himself and got kicked out of class. He got suspended and a few years later got caught peeing outside and put on the sex offenders list. The guy's really funny and pretty chill now. He has a lot of stories about him and they are all amazing. It's weird that it was him peeing outside as opposed to him masturbating in class that got him put on the sex offender list. A similar thing happened to a friend of mine, except the kid jerking off was in the front of the room and everyone, including the teacher, knew what he was doing. Then when he finished, the mother wipes it on his sleeve. High school bus hit a deer. Police were called. Deer was shot 3 times in front of the bus to put it down. Watched it from the parking lot while skipping school. This is NSFW in a different way than most of the stories here. But when I was in high school I liked to go to the balcony of our theater to take naps during my free periods. It was dark, quiet, and usually empty, which made it such an ideal spot for napping. One day I walk up the stairs and see a girl from the grade below me that I sort of knew cutting herself with scissors. She freaked out and ran away. I eventually caught up with her and we had an intense conversation. We became friends after that day and I encouraged her to start seeing a therapist, which helped her a lot. Unfortunately, we lost touch when her parents moved to a different state and sent her to some boarding school. I'm very sure some guy will make a video about this post with a robotic voice and some generic ass stock music in the background with a clickbait sexual thumbnail. I heard my parents having sex during math class. I'm homeschooled. In secondary school, a boy brought in a live chicken and snapped its neck. Friend of mine got with our art teacher, who was an ex-stripper. Freshman year, I needed to go take a piss and I just hear loud clicking and smacking noises in the stall next to me. An hour later I found a dude was having a girl suck him. Worst part was said girl was dating a different guy. I don't think they are dating anymore. The dudes from the class where I was from, before I changed classes, started doing group masturbating sessions in the locker room before or after pet. That shit smelled like rotten oysters after. The next class was always fucked because of the smell. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell.